Hello guys, welcome to Education. So in the last lecture, we saw how to solve problems which required us to find the number of days required to complete a work when two or three people were doing that work in a specified time. So let us now look into another aspect of this topic. If 10 men can complete a piece of work in 24 days, then we need to find out the time required to complete the same work when 18 men are employed. So let us first understand the concept that is involved, like how do we need to solve this or approach this problem. As we know, if we employ more number of people, more work can be done in same time. You have 24 hours to do a work, you employ 5 number of people, you can do more amount of work, right? 5 times the work that was being done when only one person was being involved. Again, if number of men is constant, so in more amount of time, more work can be done. So from these two statements, what we can say is work done is directly proportional to number of men employed when time is constant. Similarly, work done is directly proportional to number of days in which the work is done when number of men is constant. So from this, what formula can we derive is W equals to MD. So work is basically man days. So now as work is equals to man days, so our work remains same basically. That is M1 D1 would be equals to M2 D2. If 10 men are employed for 36 days, so 18 men would be employed for some number of days that we have taken as D2. So from M1 D1 we get 10 into 36. 10 men and 36 days. So M1 into D1, and this should be same as M2 into D2, 18 into D2. So from here we get D2 is equals to 20 days, right? We cancel this out by 2. So we get D2 equals to 20 days. So 18 men would require 20 days to complete this work. This is the basic concept which will be involved in these type of questions. Let us see another type of question. If 6 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 10 days, 26 men and 48 boys can do the same in 2 days. Then time required by 15 men and 20 boys in doing same type of work will be. So again we have to calculate the man days. If 6 men and 8 boys can do it in 10 days, so what kind of equation can we expect from this? If we assume that 1 day work done by each man is M and by each boy be B. So in 1 day, 6 men can do 6M work and 8 boys can do 8B work. So 6M plus 8B. This quantity is 1 day work of 6 men and 8 boys. Now they are doing the work for 10 days. So total work that they will be doing is 10 into 6M plus 8B. Similarly, for the second equation, 26 men and 48 boys. So in 1 day, 28 men and 48 boys will do 28M plus 48B amount of work in 1 day. So in 2 days, they would be doing this much amount of work. And these two work are same, right? Because they are doing the same amount of work. And the third equation that we can form is 15M plus 20B multiplied by something would be equals to our work. Something like this. 15M plus 20B. This is the amount of work that they will be doing in 1 day. And then we multiply it by number of days. Let's say we take in D days they can complete the work. So 15M plus 20B into D, this gives us W. Now to solve this question, we won't be solving it using W. We'll assume something in place of W. And what is the best thing to assume? Obviously LCM of 10 and 2. Because if we take the LCM of 10 and 2, these equations will get transformed into something like linear equation in 2 variable, where we won't be having any fractional part, right? So in place of W, we put work done as 10 units. And if work done is 10 units, our equation gets transformed into 6M plus 8B equals to 1. Similarly, our second equation, this gets transformed into 26M plus 48B equals to 5. Now what is required to do is we have to solve these two equations to get our M and B. So let us just solve our equations. To solve these two equations, let us multiply our first equation by 6. Why 6? So that 8 into 6 becomes 48b. In our second equation, we already had 48b. And when we subtract these two equations, what we get is 26. 36 minus 26, 10m. 48b minus 48b. This gets cancelled out and 6 minus 5 is 1. So we get 10m equals to 1. So the value of m that we get is 1 by 10 units. So when we put our value of m in this equation, 6m plus 8b equals to 1, the equation that we took initially. So 6 into 1 by 10 plus 8b equals to 1, we get b is equals to 1 by 20 units. Now what we were required to solve is, we are required to solve our third equation, because we were asked 15 men and 20 boys, they would be doing the same type of work in how many days? So let us assume that they can do the work in d days. So 15m plus 20b, this is the 1 day work, multiplied by d, so this is my total work, and my total work was assumed to be 10 units. So we'll put our value of m and b in this equation. We'll get 15 into 1 by 10 plus 20 into 1 by 20 multiplied by d and equals to 10. So from there we get d equals to 4 days. So 15 men and 20 boys can finish this work in 4 days. This is how we need to approach our problem. Now you don't have to write all of these that we have written, putting our value in m and everything. You just need to solve the questions and give your final answer. So just try this question for a minute and then we'll look at the solution, how it can be solved. So obviously the equations that you would be getting is 4m plus 6w is the per day work of 4 men and 6 women, and they complete the work in 8 days. So 1 day work multiplied by number of days required to complete the work. So this becomes our total work, which is 80. Why 80? Because we have two figures here, 8 days and 10 days. So LCM of 8 and 10. Similarly, our second equation becomes 3m plus 7w into 10, which is equals to 80. And what is required is d into 10w equals to 80. So in this question, we are required to find out the value of w. So no need to solve for m, just solve for w and answer the question. So now you must be thinking, why to solve just for w, not for m? This is because we need to take out in how many days will 10 women complete it. So no need to take out the efficiency of men. We just need in how many days women can complete it. So we need to take out the value of w. That's it. So when we solve these two equations, first these two equations become, this gets cancelled out by 8. So 4m plus 6w equals to 10. Similarly, 3m plus 7w equals to 8. So for solving these two equations, we multiply our first equation by 3 and our second equation we multiply it by 4. So this equation becomes 12m plus 18w equals to 30. Second equation becomes 12m plus 28w equals to 32. So we subtract our second equation from the first equation or vice versa. What we get is 10w, because 12m gets cancelled out with 12m. 28w minus 18w is 10w. And 32 minus 30 is 2. So 10w equals to 2. We get w equals to 0.2 units. Now we are required to find out in how many days will 10 women complete it. So we'll put the value of w in our third equation. So our third equation was d into 10w equals to 80. So we put our value of w in this. So d into 10 into 0.2 is 80. We get our d as 40 days. There's another variation which can be done in time and work questions. Try this question for 2 minutes, give it a try, and then we'll discuss how to solve this kind of questions. So what this question says is, A takes twice as much time as B or thrice as much time as C to finish a piece of work. So from this information, can I say that A is half as efficient as B? Because if A does half the work as B, then he will take double the time. Similarly, A is 1/3 as efficient as C. So what our equation becomes, we get 2A equals to B. When we multiply the efficiency of A by 2, we get the efficiency of B. Because A is doing half the amount of work as B in the same time, right? Similarly, I get 3A equals to C. Because A is doing 1/3 of the work, 1/3 of the amount of work that C is doing in the same time. And our third equation, We'll get it from here. Working together, they can finish the work in 2 days. So what we know is A plus B plus C, this is their 1 day work. And if we multiply this 1 day work by the number of days they require to complete the work, what we'll get is the total amount of work, right? So we have assumed our total work to be 60 units. Why 60? We can take any number which is a multiple of 2. Why did we take 60? So that when we cancel this out, we get 30. And 30 is also a multiple of 3 because we have 3 figures here, A, B and C. Just to be sure that we do not get any fractions. So now putting the value of B and C, what equation can we write? We can write A plus 2A plus 3A, right? B equals to 2A and C equals to 3A. So we get A plus 2A plus 3A equals to 30. We get 6A equals to 30. So A is equals to 5. Now if A is equals to 5, what do we need to find? B can do the work alone in. So we know the efficiency of A. So from here we know the efficiency of B also. Efficiency of B would be twice that of A, that is 10 units per day. Now total work that needs to be done is 60 units with efficiency of 10 units per day. So you can tell me how many days will it take? Obviously 6 days, right? 60 divided by 10. Thank you for following us. Do post any queries below or on our FB page. We are here to solve all your queries, and if you have any doubt or if you find any difficulty to understand in any of the lectures, do let us know because your feedback is really important for us. We are uploading these videos just to make sure that you get the right content in the right place. We at Acaducation assure you that any lecture we post here will be delivered only by those people who have been in situations where they didn't know how to approach a question or didn't have anyone to solve their queries but still managed to score well in the exam. We assure you whoever delivers a lecture here has cracked the exam with an outstanding result, and with exams I mean is CAT, XAT or SSC, CGL or any other examination for that matter. So stay updated and keep posting all your doubts and whatever queries you have. Thank you.